We're starting the bulletin with an India Today exclusive. India Today can now confirm that the Maharashtra government has ordered a probe into whether phone calls were made from the telephone number registered at Dawood Ibrahim's residence in Karachi to the mobile number of Maharashtra BJP Minister Eknath Khadse. Now, a few days ago, India Today had broken the story of how a senior Maharashtra leader was on the most dialed list of Dawood Ibrahim's international call list. An ethical hacker in Vadodara, Manish had given to India Today the call detail records of 4 phones registered in the name of Dawood's wife, Mehjabeen Sheikh. Now, among the numbers was one registered in Khadse's name. Now, quoting India Today's report, AAP has launched a fierce attack on Khadse, saying that the Maharashtra minister must resign. The AAP's Maharashtra wing also demanded a thorough probe, saying that it's a matter of national security. Listen in.
It is verified that this number is Dawood's. It is verified that that number is Eknath Khadse. It is also verified that Pakistan Telecom has sent a mail to Mehjabeen Sheikh saying that this is a frequently dialed number from her phone. मैं चाहती हूं कि इन्वेस्टिगेशन की जाए और इन्वेस्टिगेशन के दौरान एकनाथ खड़से जी को रिजाइन करना ही पड़ेगा क्योंकि वो इंटरफेयर कर रहे हैं इन्वेस्टिगेशन से। ये झूठी कहानी देखिए कि फोन 2 साल से बंद है या किसी ने मेरा फोन क्लोन कर दिया और वो क्लोन करने वाला बिल पे कर रहा है।
And facing a barrage of attacks, the man in the eye of the storm, Eknath Khadse, has refuted all allegations. The Maharashtra minister has issued a statement after his name surfaced in this entire controversy. Khadse claimed, and I quote here, allegations that calls were made on my cell number are baseless and without any proofs. I am not using that number since the last 1 year, and it has neither received any international calls or made any. The mobile operator has informed me about this in writing. There is a possibility that someone must have cloned my number and used it. I've asked the Chief Minister to order an investigation in this matter, unquote. Alright, so this is the detailed statement that's been issued by the State Revenue Minister based on the allegations levelled against him. He claims that he has not made any calls, neither received any calls from Dawood Ibrahim, levelling all the allegations as completely baseless. He's also demanded for a detailed probe into the matter, saying that he's written to the Chief Minister on the same. With regards to the calls that have been made and the call records that are out there for all to see, Khadse claims that he does not know if someone has managed to clone his number, and he's also got proof that he did not make any international calls from the company, from of course the broadcast company. Also, he claims that he has proof that he did not make any sort of calls. Now, of course, we do know that an inquiry has been ordered into this. Let's go across to our executive editor Sanjay Bragda joining us with more details on this. Sanjay, to put this into perspective, of course, we did air this story on the 26th of April with regards to Dawood's call records and the fact that he had called a Maharashtra minister. Now, do we have the details as to the number of calls that were really made to Khadse in this regard?
Yeah, definitely, yes. We had the call details of 4 landline numbers of Karachi, and we corroborated which ethical hacker got us the number and the address, and Indian intelligence agencies, they confirmed that yes, this residence belonged to Dawood Ibrahim. This is one of the residences on radar, has been shared with Pakistani government and many occasions from Karachi. And from those 4 landline numbers were on the name of Dawood Ibrahim's wife. And from those 4 landline numbers, there were many calls made between September 2015 to April this year. And we identified 10 top numbers, frequent callers numbers, and out of which Eknath Khadse's number was prominently there. He was called many a times in those 6-7 months. And after this press conference, yes, they met the political, this is now turning into a political game now. Aam Aadmi Party is alleging that why Devendra Fadnavis this government is not inquiring into the details of these calls made. Why was these calls made to a politician, that to the minister in his government? Obviously, the pressure is on Devendra Fadnavis government. That's why he has asked the Mumbai Commissioner of the Police to investigate the veracity of these calls, and wherein one side, Eknath Khadse is claiming that this number was not working for quite some time, and during the duration these allegations are made, but Aam Aadmi Party has got the service providers reaction to that, wherein the bills were paid for that time. That means that phone was working. That's what they are claiming now. Obviously now it's turning out to be a political game in Maharashtra.
Absolutely. Sanjay, I request you to stay on with us. Also joining us now is Sahil Joshi from Mumbai. Sahil, on the investigation front, we do know that now the government has pushed for a formal inquiry in this regard, which possibly is the need of the hour, considering, of course, the AAP has also demanded Khadse's resignation on this matter.
Absolutely. In fact, that is the reason why the Chief Minister has asked the Mumbai Police Commissioner to do a kind of a verification to the claims made by the media in this particular regard, and especially because now Aam Aadmi Party is taking up this issue and having a press conference. Now, there are two things into this. What Khadse is actually trying to say, that he has come up with the press release, and in the press release what he says is that that number belongs to him. That number is in possession of him, but he was not using that number since last 1 year. And he also claims that the service provider, he has got a letter from the service provider that neither any international calls were made from that number, nor any international calls were received on that particular number. Now this is really tricky, because now he has come up with a new theory, and he says that there is always a possibility that someone might have cloned his SIM card, because he has never spoken to Dawood Ibrahim, and the police should have a thorough inquiry into this particular thing, because Eknath Khadse is already facing a lot of allegations at this point of time, because one of his close aides were arrested by Anti-Corruption Bureau in some bribery racket, and now this is another allegation which has suddenly come up. So now he will the government will really have to answer these particular questions, him being a senior minister in Devendra Fadnavis government. And this issue has been used as a political tool to corner the Devendra Fadnavis government, as well as Eknath Khadse being a senior minister in that particular government. So now we'll have to see that what comes up in the Mumbai police investigation. Obviously, what police is saying right now is that they are going to ask for the call data records of that particular number. We'll also have to see whether these call data records are still in possession of the cellular operator, and after that things will be clarified.
Right. Sahil, stay on with us. Also joining us now over the phone line is Rahul Kanwal, Managing Editor of TV Today Network. Rahul, seeing Khadse's defense and the kind of proof that we have with regards to the call records, do you really think Khadse's defense holds any ground?
You know, I want to break a piece of information for our viewers who are joining in at 509 this Saturday evening. We've just received calls from these ethical hackers who are collaborating with India Today in bringing out the call detail records of Dawood Ibrahim's landline numbers in Karachi. And they're now telling us they have started receiving multiple threatening calls from unknown Pakistani numbers, where the most vile abuses are being hurled at them. I heard some of these conversations which they'd shared with us. They're being told that we'll make you disappear and nobody will find out. The Modi government will not come to your rescue. They're quite worried. We want to tell our viewers that we've reached out to the Gujarat police to try and ensure that security is provided to these hackers who've actually performed a service for the nation. They've helped expose how Dawood Ibrahim, even at this time, is in touch with some Indian politicians, prominent businessmen. So that's something that we're working on. And right now, this is a piece of information we're just breaking, that these hackers are alleging that they're getting threatening calls. As far as your question about Eknath Khadse's defense is concerned, you know, we want to say this again and again. We're not taking sides. We are not an investigative agency, and we don't have the full details. What we know and what is incontrovertible is this, that there are call records which show that in the past 7 months, there are multiple calls being made from Dawood Ibrahim's landline number, which is officially registered with PTCL, Pakistan Telecom, in the name of Mahjabeen Sheikh, Dawood Ibrahim's wife. And those call detail records show that these calls were made to Eknath Khadse's number. That's the number that is registered in Eknath Khadse's name with the telecom operator. That is something that we've cross-confirmed. We've also spoken to the minister. He too has accepted that indeed that phone is his name. Now, what he says in his defense is that at the time when these calls were made, I was not using this phone, that this phone was not with me. Now, as I said earlier, this is something that an investigative agency needs to look at. We don't run a kangaroo court unlike some other channels. Our job as investigative journalists is to put the truth out, to make people aware. And the critical thing here for us to point out to our viewers is it's not just one minister in the Maharashtra government. There are other prominent businessmen. We are constantly beating our chest and saying Pakistan's not acting against Dawood Ibrahim, that the ISI is not doing anything, that the Nawaz Sharif government, the Pak Army is not doing anything. You know, our story shows that there are people in India with whom Dawood Ibrahim and his family members are in constant touch. The question to the Modi government, the question to others is, what are you doing about that? There are people whose call detail records we have, people who cannot deny that they've received these calls. Are we at least investigating to find out why these people are receiving calls from Dawood's residence? Those are critical questions, bigger questions that our investigation raises. Those are questions that we can't lose the sight of in this political din and fury.
Absolutely. And Rahul, for a second, if I can go back to that breaking information that you gave us with regards to both the hackers, we're referring to Manish Bangale and Jayesh Shah receiving threat calls, vicious abuses also being hurled at them. It's clear someone's getting jittery, isn't it?
See, there again, as I said, we don't want to just jump to conclusions like several other TV channels often do. We just want to stick to the facts. And the facts are that from an unknown number, we don't know if that's Dawood's henchman who's calling. It is most likely and most obvious that somebody who's obviously hurt by these revelations and angry about what these hackers have done, that's the person who's calling. But there is no way for us to know. What we've done is, like good law-abiding citizens, we've informed the Gujarat police that these calls are being received. We are hoping that the local police in Vadodara provides security and speaks to these hackers to ensure that they're taken care of. We also know that Manish Bangale, the hacker who worked with us, has informed the Prime Minister's office about the call detail records that he's received as well. That again is something that's been communicated to the Prime Minister's office directly. So we're placing the facts out in the public domain, and we're now looking at the Maharashtra government. The Commissioner of Police, we are told, has been told by Devendra Fadnavis, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, to investigate whether his colleague was receiving numbers. As I said, we're reporting both sides. We're reporting what the call detail records show us. We're also fully and faithfully reporting what Eknath Khadse is saying. And I think it's the job of an investigative agency to decide whether or not Eknath Khadse's defense holds any water.
All right, Rahul, thanks for joining us with those details.
For many years now, the Indian government has unsuccessfully been trying to bring Dawood Ibrahim back to this country. But a big question that arises after India Today's investigation is, why have India's intelligence agencies so far not been probing those people with whom the Dawood family is in touch? Why is it that certain people are getting calls very frequently from Dawood Ibrahim's Karachi landlines? What do these people talk about? Being in touch with an underworld don by itself is a criminal offense. Isn't that something that India's security forces should be prosecuting? With Sanjay Barakta, this is Rahul Kamal in New Delhi, reporting for India Today.